What up? It's you. That's right, me on Dominations. Today we're doing a little bit of base builder tips. Base building 101. Taking you to the university for base building. Get it? Anywho, some of this stuff you probably already know. I'm just going to try to give some tips, show some methods I use, maybe improve your base building game. This is kind of a modified design that I took from an older industrial age map. If you're ever having trouble with ideas in general and you haven't tried this, you just click on your little leaderboard. Now you can go through players and just kind of, whoa, there's some 190s now. You can kind of flip through and find somebody kind of near your level. So I'm 149. I would just scrolly until, oh, here is a 149. And just see what he's doing to get on the leaderboards at my level. See what his base looks like. Maybe it's something to do with his layout. Pretty cool layout. I've kind of seen something like that before, but you get the idea. I'm just using the leaderboard for ideas. That's one way of getting started with the design. Obviously, the layout editor, pretty easy. I'm glad they made this change a long time ago, but it was really hard before. Saving layouts and stuff was just about impossible. Here's my three main ones. This is my loot saver. It's got the exposed town center and Forbidden City. It's just centralized oil well, refinery I should say, with the kind of layering box flower pinwheel design, whatever you want to call it. And this one has this pretty sweet, I think it's like 520 road network. It's pretty good. Anyways, what I want to do is show you some strategies or how I do the designs, at least the first few steps, so then maybe that'll help save you some time. This is one I was playing with the other day, but we're going to go ahead and just pick it all up. Boom, gone. First thing, now mine's a pretty easy, to find the middle because it's a square. I like the square shape. I intentionally did it that way when I was removing forest to kind of make sure I had an even amount of space around the center. My next level of forestation will probably go towards the Alliance Gate and make kind of a rectangle shape. And then the last row of forest I'll do will be over here by the Coalition's, whatever that is, embassy. Alright, step one though. I guess is deciding, are you going to protect the town center or are you not? Are you going to protect loot? What are you going to do in the middle? But you don't have to decide that at the beginning. What I always do first though is I find the center, and sometimes it's hard to tell. So you just grab a couple, you grab your town center and you grab a couple wonders, and I'll show you why. So what I found with the 6x6 land pattern that I have, the 6x6 box shape of forests cleared, is that when you're in the middle, you're exactly 3 wonder widths away. It'll be different depending on your shape, what you've deforested and all that, but you can see how, I don't have to check all 4 sides. I just have to check 2 sides to see that I'm right in the middle, because it's going to be even on both sides. Obviously, you get the picture. So what that does, erase mode, so now I know that that's the middle. I guessed it anyways, but you get the idea. So another sweet trick is I use farms to kind of be my pattern, my guide for my walls and my roads and stuff. You really only need probably 4. Keep less junk on the screen while you're making your layouts is very helpful. Okay, and so you can see what I would do with something like this is I'll just go through one of the entry-level designs that I know, and it starts with town center in the middle, and Obviously, I couldn't get a road out if I were to make this shape here with the 4 boxes, like you saw in the beginning of the video. Wouldn't be able to get a road out through these two, so I've kind of modified the shape, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Another trick is selecting more and starting on a pivot point, a corner. You can move the whole thing all at once. And I always add my gates in later. I just start with the walls. Okay. And so some of the stuff I'm doing, I just do without even thinking about. So I may not talk about all the things, but it's still going to get done. And then you can see how what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use those farms as a template, kind of, or whatever you want to say, a filler, just to get the shape of the walls first. I'm leaving the center gap for the road. I find that this design is pretty reliable because it's not too many, small sections. Sometimes you can just do like a bunch of little boxes, little tiny boxes with your walls, and you can only end up, covering maybe half your defenses with that type of setup. This type of setup, you can do a lot more. You can cover a lot more. So you can see how quickly it's taking shape here. We're going to go ahead, and this design can kind of be modified, but it's really strong, easy to start out with layout, especially if you don't have Forbidden City, because there's my 2-year-old out there running around yelling, if you can hear him. Trying to do a video while you're watching 3 boys, not easy, but just bear with me on that. We'll get through this. Ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, ping pong. Rapid fire gate deployment. Crucial tactic in base design. Okay. And I do this on my phone, so in case you're wondering if I'm using a tablet or whatever, this is all my iPhone. Not a very big, it's iPhone 6 Plus, so it's bigger screen, but it's not like, it's still kind of tedious. Okay, I mean, you can see that beautiful start there, and we're evenly spaced on the edges, so we know we're not going to run out of space one side or the other. Another trick you can do is kind of lay out some walls or some roads before you put some stuff down, and you can kind of get a feel for what can fit in certain places and stuff like that. I'm gonna just run this to the edges. I'm kind of visualizing it as I go, but running this to the edges should give us a good start to go ahead and plop some stuff down here. As you can see, there's only space for 2, so because look at that, it won't fit on that side of the wall. It'll fit on that side of the wall or the road down here, but not up here. It's because it's a little off center. Whenever we started, I had to move it, just make the center box just a little bit bigger because of the roads. So it's off center, up by 1 space. So if you have it's just something that you pay attention to while you're building the base, so that way you don't get to the end and then realize, oh my gosh, nothing fits, I gotta remove everything and start all over. That's frustrating. Everybody knows what that feels like on this game, I'm pretty sure. There's a good start. Let's go ahead and slap some mortars down, and you can kind of get a feel for where this is going. Now, it's very open design. You can put whatever you want. You can put food and save your stuff inside there. You can, instead of putting the mortars in there, you could put cannons. And you don't need as big of a section of walls around it there, but very very flexible design, and hopefully some of the tips I use show up in the in this layout. So I don't know what that means. That didn't even make any sense, but you know what I'm saying. Like, hopefully this helps a little bit. You can see some of the stuff I do to make it easier for me to make design layouts so quickly. But yeah, I know this is gonna be painful to some people, but I'm just gonna pick up all, take that out of there, and another strategy is, again, you want to find the center. That's the center right there, but if you can't find it, you can use the wonders. I'm gonna show you one more tip before we cut this off. And all I'm doing is pulling out all the big stuff, the wonders. The Statue of Liberty doesn't really matter because it doesn't matter where I put her in this. She still does the same, so I shove her off to the side. You can do, when you've got the Forbidden City like I have. I'm just moving all this stuff out to the side. I know this is on the center line, so we're just gonna slide it along that center so it's still even, 3 wonder space on both sides of it. You can see that, count that out. And then this is a super popular design. Is you put Versailles there, you've got your castle, leave a little space for some doodads in there, maybe a little bit more space. Not quite sure, but it's flexible. So that's all running down the center. Then you've got, then what I would do is I would just grab farms again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and just kind of make some shapes and stuff and see what works, what doesn't. Keep in mind you've got to have roads, so don't get all the way done with your design and then be like, oh, roads, why? Okay. So essentially just using the farms as placeholder is really going to help out. Finding your center is really going to help out because you don't run out of space on the ends. It's pretty easy to figure out, but not everybody knows these tips, so that's why I share them. This is kind of trying to show you how I came up with the one that I've got now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Bada bing, bada boom, fling, flang, floom. And really, it's pretty much like that. I mean, you're doing this, you see kind of coming together, and the gates come in later. You really want more gates feeding in between the two areas than you do than coming out the sides where they can run in, sabotage or whatever, and run right through your gates. So keep your gates internal. You can kind of see this. This idea has the anti-tank set up for people can just walk right in and they'll attack your town center or whatever, and they'll get blasted by those cannons. This one also uses a road setup where you can pull a little bit down this way, and that's still connected. You can go up and around, and that stays connected. I think you usually go 3, 4, something like this. I can't recall exactly, but comes down, goes all the way. But I mean, this is kind of the way I do it. I just go in and Oops, that was too far. I feel like it gives me an advantage doing the base design this style because I can make a lot of progress pretty quickly and decide if I want to keep going or just change gears, and that's really going to be it. So I'm going to end the video and post it. It's a little long, but oh well, maybe it'll help you guys figure out your next layout. That's what it's all about, you know, having fun, designing stuff, being creative, trying to outsmart the next guy. And yeah, you can see where this is headed. I mean, add some gates and we're good to go. And then you fill in the rest, you know. But hopefully that's helpful. I'm just gonna cancel out of that, close out of that, and we will be back. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up, like, subscribe, comment, hate on it, whatever. San Fran, Tokyo, greatest alliance of allies to ever align and form allies and alliance. Ooh. Peace out.